How's everybody doing? Grace and peace to you guys. I'm right now in Netflix right now. I saw Zack Snyder's Twilight of the Gods. It was great. We'll talk more about that. But first, all praise be to the Most High God. The Most High God comes first all time. And this stream is brought to you courtesy of LIVE products. LIVE, live now. We're live now. We have 6 different flavors of drinks. We have Morby, grapefruit, sour, orange, fruit punch, and what is not seen here is lime with a little slight ginger taste behind it. Also in LIVE products, we have cleaning products such as liquid detergent, disinfectant, fabric softener, dishwashing liquid. So, LIVE, live now. We're live now. All praise be to the Most High God. The Most High God always comes first, and therefore I want to acknowledge Him in everything that I do and say. Sometimes we walk off course, but you know something? What keeps you back on course is your heart to the Most High God. Repent of whatever evils you've done and keep it stepping. I got to get out of here in a minute because I got to go and do some sales. But before I do so, I want to do a quick review of Twilight of the Gods that I saw on Netflix. Of course, I talked to you guys a little bit about Rebel Ridge. That's another movie I watched. This is my list of movies that I really like. So RebelMoon, the director's cuts, part 1 and 2, Twilight of the Gods. The Blue Samurai was really good for me, so I kept that. And also Family Switch with I forgot what her name is right now. But that was also good, man. That was entertaining. So this is just my list of things. And if you guys haven't seen any of these movies, I suggest it highly that you see it. If you like realistic movies, if you like even a little comedy, a little drama, you're going to like these kinds of movies for sure. Now, let's get into what we want to talk about, which is we're going to talk about several different things, but I want to start off with Zack Snyder's the review of Zack Snyder's Twilight of the Gods, okay? Because that was really tremendous. And here I am this is my bookmarks inside of Twitter, what they call X now. Listen, I said Zack Snyder did it with J. Oliver. Twilight of the Gods was pure fire. Yo, you outdid yourself, Zack. Bring on season 2. That's Thor, Odin, and Loki. Like, damn. Okay, so basically Twilight of the Gods is following the story of Sigrid. Sigrid, it comes from actually a giant clan of people. They are all giants. Sigrid just so happens to be half human, half giant. And her clan is a warrior clan. They like to fight a lot. And so Sigrid, she meets Leaf. Leaf is the king of a group of earthlings, or people of Earth. And she defends Leaf in battle. Okay, in battle, Leaf is taking on serious damage. Leaf is telling the story to begin. And Leaf is in battle, and Sigrid comes and she basically fights along Leaf. And because of that, they're able to take on insurmountable odds. I mean, they were overwhelmed, overrun, and Leaf's company was able to be saved. Now, it seems as though Sigrid and Leaf, they knew each other for a long time. It seems as though they had a relationship before, and therefore Leaf decides he's going to marry Sigrid. But Leaf has never met Sigrid's family, so he's introduced to Sigrid's family, which is a family of giants, actually. And they're of a particular clan or group that was sort of formed a truce with the gods, with the Norse gods, Odin. And so as a result of that, and there's a history behind it, but I won't go into that. This is just a brief review. And basically to say that Odin took certain things of theirs in a truce, and as such, they're not really meddled with much. Okay, so Sigrid decides to marry Leaf, and she's going to do so. But apparently, this is something that would anger the gods if Sigrid was to marry Leaf, which is disclosed by Sigrid's good friend. And so as a result of that, what happens is that Thor finds out that Thor doesn't find out about the marriage. Thor comes down because he believes that Loki is present and that the giant gods are actually protecting Loki. And he comes down while Sigrid and Leaf are engaged in giving their vows and about to be married, and they're going to do a kiss to seal their marriage. And he comes down and he demands that Loki be delivered to him. And of course, the giant gods, the giants, they don't know about anything of that. And so they're like, what are you talking about? There's nobody there like this. But they don't know that Loki's actually there in the form of a sort of lizard thing. And he's actually there. Anyway, ultimately, in the end, the giant king, they have the saying, they fear no gods. And they wage war. And Thor annihilates, like totally decimates the whole population there. Leaf and Sigrid managed to survive only because Thor thought they were dead. And Thor's brother, he accompanies Thor. And I gotta say, Thor, this is Thor. When I think of Thor, I think of that version of Thor. I mean, Thor is very, very powerful. He's the god, of course, of rain and thunder and fire, and the rain and thunder. Sorry, not fire. Even though he has lightning. And boy, was Thor powerful in this in this series. So anyway, the short version of it is I need to tell you the story so that I can tell you why this is so successful. The short version of this is that ultimately, in the end, Sigrid goes on a revenge to kill Thor because Thor decimated her family. Sigrid managed to survive. Loki summons her. I wouldn't say how, but she ends up in hell. And there, she sort of makes an agreement with Loki in hell, with his daughter who's in hell. And because Hel is his daughter. His daughter's name is actually Hel. And she makes an agreement with Loki in hell so that they would assist her in destroying Thor. And of course, Loki betrays her, and there's a back and forth. But ultimately, in the end of the story, she goes on this revenge journey against Thor. And Thor is very impressed, actually, that Sigrid continuously and determinedly goes after him. As at first he was like, how dare she? And then, he was trying to just stomp them out. Now, this movie is as violent as it can be. I mean, it's graphic. There's sex. There's bisexual sex. There's all kinds of things, okay, going on in this movie. I try to bypass the bisexual stuff and all that. I don't really particularly, I'm interested in those things unless there's some key moment where somebody's saying something key. So I kind of bypass those things. But more or less what was interesting to me in this story, where Sigrid wages her revenge, and there's so many different things because you there are relational parts in this story. There's the lore. What I mean by lore is like it's almost like Lord of the Rings and these things, where you feel the peril. And you feel that Sigrid is making a wrong determination at certain points, where she's going to lose her soul. She's going to go to the dark side. Loki's not somebody to be trusted, And throughout the whole story, I'm not going to tell you how it unfolded either. You need to go watch it. But it's legendary. It is definitely an epic story. There's a lot of sacrifice. There's a lot of people who will join Sigrid on her journey to try and kill Thor. And some of them you can see right now in this picture, actually, right here. There are some of them. There's the poet. There's the dwarf. There's the witch. There's the wolfman. And then there's Sigrid's friend, which is this lady right here in the center. And she's an amazing fighter. And not only is she an amazing fighter, there's a lot more to her. As the story emerges, you get to know why her relationship with Sigrid and so on. The journey, as in all heroes' journeys, if you want to call this a heroic story, in a way, if you're looking at it from Sigrid's eyes, well, not Sigrid's eyes, but I guess her companion's eyes, the people who accompany her on this journey, they would see her as a hero, even though she's really just trying to exact revenge. But this Gotterdernam, which is seen in Army of the Dead, when they have to break into this safe which is called the Götterdran. Is basically the word for twilight of the gods. And this Norse mythology really is interesting because I'm not going to reveal anything, but I can tell you this, that the mortals, the humans, take on the gods, and they get powerful company to take on the gods, and certain people step up to the plate and they become accountable. But ultimately, in the end, there's hell, and then there's Van Hurum, right? Which is like the life after you go to Van Hurum. And so that's all interesting. And then there are gods that face gods, and there's all kinds of things going on in this lore. And to me, this is very satisfying for me, watching this lore unfolding. Zack Snyder's crazy, man. And the action and the animation was just on point. It was terrific. I mean, the story was terrific, and then the animation was terrific. It wasn't your typical story. Zack tells stories that are just unique, and this was not a typical. It's a typical story in terms of the general outline, but in terms of the specifics of the story and the relationships in the story and how the story unfolds, this is not your typical story. And definitely, I love how he told this Norse mythology, how he told it from the perspective, again, somebody's narrating the story at certain points, different people are narrating the story, and that's what makes it all so interesting. And of course, different people directed different episodes of the story. There are 7 episodes. It's something to really watch, and I just wanted to just tell you guys, I recommend it very highly. I saw it September 19th in the morning, or was it September 20th? I think it was at the end of September 19th into September 20th. I saw it, and I watched all the episodes. I did fall asleep in between somewhere there because I was very sleepy, but I did wake back up and watch the rest of the episodes, and I will give it another look again, the whole series. But this was it was so uniquely done as well. The way how the intros are, the way how the animation is, it's just very unique in its own way. And that's what makes it so interesting. And man, Sigrid is, how they got their weapons and everything. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. It's dark, but it's kind of like Indiana Jones dark. Like, it's very graphic, it's very dark, but yet at the same time, it has its own liveliness to it. Even though it has weight, there is some humor in it. It's not really humorous. It's more adventurous. Kind of like a Harry Potter movie. It's adventurous. Harry Potter movies are not funny per se, but they are adventuresome. And you feel like you're in this adventure and you're going to hear. It reminds me of Conan the Barbarian. It reminds me of, adventure movie. Even Star Wars to some degree, even though without the humor. It's not as, it's fantastical, but it's not as grounded as, say, RebelMoon, which is very grounded. So I just wanted to talk about this to some degree. Let me get into the other topic, which is that Zack Snyder is also working on a video game here, and I want you guys to see it. And oh man, this is crazy. Y'all gonna love this. And remember the Senecal. We had some episodes of the Senecal. So this game, if you link up with the Senecal podcast, this game kind of continues it a little bit. It's really cool. Check this out.
And we must come together to take. It only takes a spark to start a fire, to start a revolution. Since the death of the royal family, we have been deceived. Our resources, our weapons, our very culture exploited for an unjust cause. No longer. Our steel now sings an anthem of resistance. And we must come together to take back what's ours.
RebelMoon Bloodline. It's crazy. Now, let me explain why they say that. That is coming straight off of. That's coming straight off of. Hold on a second. So this is coming straight off of RebelMoon, the Senecal. The Senecal. You guys, if you check out the Senecal, you'll understand what they're talking about with the decimation of the royal family, which is very interesting. And so I think this is coming off of the Senecal, and you'll learn a little bit about that. But that's where this is interesting as well. So if you're following RebelMoon, there's all this lore that Zach has started to put together, and it's just about lore. It's not about really, but it's interesting how Issa came to be, and the story of Issa and the myth of Issa and all of that stuff. So the Senecal kind of explains that, as well as the origins of the Jimmies, through Bartholomew, and so much more. So I hope that you guys check it out. Now, I don't like the Super Evil Media Corp. I don't know what that's about. I don't know why that's part of the thing. I don't like that. But you can see the eye of the all-seeing eye on top of that flag, and it seems as though they start to fight back. This does look a little bit like Star Wars, though. It does look a little bit like Star Wars. That's kind of cool, though. But you can see it's a different version, but it's still cool. So anyway, that's what I got for you guys when it comes to Zack Snyder. Oh, there's one more thing I have to talk to you guys about. I don't know if I have it here. Where do I have it? Zack Snyder has reported himself that, maybe I'll find it. Let me go look. That he confirmed that he's working on something in WB, the 300 prequel series. So he's working on the 300 prequel series in WB. That's now confirmed. Let me see if I can find it somewhere. Oh, my trending has come back. Wow, that's... The IDF is trending. Wow. That's crazy. Deadpool and the Wolverine is trending. That's cool. That's cool. Make the Batfleck movie is trending. God damn. See, or at least the Schumacher cut is trending. A lot of Restore the Snyderverse stuff is always trending. That's what I always find very interesting. Zack Snyder. There you go. So let's just look at Zack Snyder's it says Twilight of the Gods animated series epic score created by Hans Zimmer, Omar Benjamin, and Stephen Dorr are now available for limited edition pre-order on translucent red and black marble vinyl. Wow. Vinyl. Wow. You mean like a record? That's kind of cool. Okay, Zach doesn't have anything here. He was chilling out doing something here. Oh, there it is. The Ultimate Tale of Revenge, Twilight of the Gods, dropped September 19th. Yeah, this was crazy. This is a cigarette air saving leaf. I was so sick. Y'all don't understand how sick this movie is. Y'all gotta check it out. I'm telling you, it's sick. All right, that was Zack Snyder. Cool. Yeah, Zack Snyder was there at Geek Week. Yeah. All right. But anyway, Zack Snyder, I think it was either on Vero or somewhere. He said that he's at WB doing. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe I find it. Maybe I don't. Who plays the daughter of Loki in Twilight of the Gods? Tove Lo. Period. Yep, she was the mermaid kind of version. Her mother's actually a giant, I believe, or something like that. Anyway, hold on a second. Let me see what I can find here first. It's Jill Stein. I'll come to Jill Stein in a second. Greg J. Storker, he's another cool guy. Unbiased Snyder fan says, finally, I saw Twilight of the Gods last night. As a huge Norse mythology enthusiast, I was excited to attend the premiere of Twilight of the Gods. When Thor finally appeared on the screen, I felt enormous joy since he's my favorite Marvel superhero, but he didn't seem friendly at all. And suddenly there was a tension. As this tension was building up, some crazy guy in front of us was muttering, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And then Thor slaughtered the entire village, and the guy stood up and said in a very low voice, that's it, you lost me, I'm out. And his girlfriend had to literally pull him back into his seat and keep him from walking out. And that was crazy. And that crazy guy was me. I barely even remember doing it. I had to be told afterwards that I had done that. That's how caught up in betrayal I felt. And after the merciless massacre, even though I stuck it out, I didn't give a damn about the rest of the show. Wow, what a Marvel head. They think Thor is some lovable character for some reason. No, Thor is a Norse god. Odin is a Norse god. The gods are to be served. This dude doesn't know shit. It's what it is. Let me see if I can find this anyway. Okay. Jay Oliver says, this is a scene I did personally, and I'm glad it turned out so well. Where Thor just went straight through the giant and destroyed him. Thor's a badass. No doubt about it. Anyways, let me see if I can find it. Training at number 6, Twilight of the Gods, Zack Snyder. Yep. It's wicked, man. It's wicked. Loki even is wicked. Loki's really Loki in that thing. Some more people talking about Twilight of the Gods. It was great. It was great. Yeah, Egil. Egil was the poet. Ulfar was the dwarf. Advari, I can't remember. Advari was one of the giants or something. Seed Kona, she was the witch. Chandrudia, she was a god that was trying to convince Thor about a certain thing. Hell, that's hell, I'm telling you. She went down to hell. Harfinkel and Inge. Yeah, they should have more though. That's all they have right there. That's cool. Yeah. Anyways, Zack Snyder, he's doing 300 with Warner Brothers, so he's going to be back at Warner Brothers. Oh, this is just horrible. Look at this. Oh my God. Oh, it was a month since I've been arrested and so on. Okay. So anyway, bottom line is Twilight of the Gods is just epic and it's really cool. And Zack Snyder right now, he's going to be working on 300 series with Warner Brothers TV, I believe it is. Okay. All right, let's go to something else. Dr. Jill Stein says we condemn all war criminals, including Benjamin Netanyahu, Vladimir Putin, Bashar al-Assad, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, George Bush, Dick Cheney, and many more. We also recognize the urgent need for diplomacy to prevent World War III. Statement. Okay, I'm telling you guys, vote for Dr. Jill Stein. I know that Mehdi Hassan, he tried to go at Jill Stein talking about Putin not being a war criminal or whatever. Listen, Jill Stein already denounced Putin as a war criminal only because of several different reasons. But one of the major reasons is that he violated the Ukraine's sovereignty, which is a war crime. And he preemptively went into Ukraine, just like how George Bush, he disregarded Iraq's sovereignty and went into Iraq and waged war with them. So that's why Putin is a war criminal. He's nowhere on the level of Benjamin Netanyahu. Okay, Benjamin Netanyahu is slaughtering people. Civilians. Putin's not slaughtering civilians. He's engaging in war with the Ukrainian army. Okay. And other than that, I really can't really say that Putin's really doing anything. I mean, I know Barack Obama was trying to, nail Putin down to the wall, but and NATO, but Putin's not really that kind of guy. I'm beginning to realize the Russians are not really what people say they are. Vladimir Putin, yes, there's a war between Ukraine and probably Ukraine's going to get wiped off the map. But I don't think Putin's going to slaughter a lot of people in Ukraine. That's the difference. I think he's going to let them have, again, pledge allegiance to his coalition. And they'll just continue to carry on, but with protection for the Russian-speaking Ukrainians. I think that's basically it. And if you're going to really go there, the United States of America and the CIA have a lot of war criminals in there because they are the ones that prompted the coup that overthrew Ukraine. So you can't be pointing fingers at Vladimir Putin and say, oh, you have to say he downs him as a war criminal when he's reacting really to the heinous, criminal, villainous attempt by the United States of America to subvert the neutrality of Ukraine back in 2014. So I even what's happening in Syria, yes, Assad has killed his own people and all of that kind of stuff. Yes. But some of that is ratcheted up by the West. What I mean by that is Assad is trying to hold his regime together. Fine. Yes, he did some horrendous acts. But what are you doing invading the man's country? Why are you invading Syria? Just like how you say Putin's wrong to invade Ukraine. Well, the U.S., Russia, UK, Israel, they're wrong to invade Syria. That's a domestic issue. And they say they invade Syria because ISIS is there. That's bullshit. ISIS is a creation of the CIA and Mossad. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. I don't want to spend too much more time. I need to go. So vote Dr. Jill Stein. Mehdi Hassan is being disingenuous. He did the same thing to Jeremy Corbyn. Mehdi Hassan is still being used by these corporate entities, whether it's with the Democratic Party, which he seems to have his allegiance with and his marching orders, or through other special interest groups. But Mehdi Hassan, he's bought and paid for. So don't buy into his bullshit. I just want to give you one more thing that Butch Ware said, very aware guy. Listen to this.
Taking money out of your pocket. All right, so this is a message for the Trump supporters. Are y'all tired of being called racists? Because I would be. I know that Trump is a racist, and there's a lot of white supremacists that side with that party, but I don't believe by a long shot that most of you guys are racist. What I think is you guys realize that there's no moral difference between crooked Democrats and crooked Republicans, and all other things being equal, you'd rather pay less in taxes. What if I told you Dr. Jill Stein and I can cut your personal income taxes and your small business taxes with 2 simple steps, by making the wealthiest corporations pay their share and breaking up the monopolies so that your small business can compete better and that you can pay a lower tax rate because they're paying their share, and we stop taking money out of your personal income taxes, taking money out of your pocket and handing it to Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, and Boeing to blow people up in their sleep in other countries. Stop sending American kids to go die in foreign wars for gas and for oil, and with $1 trillion a year we save, we can cut your personal income taxes. Does that sound pretty good to you guys? Because it sounds damn good to me as a small business owner. I'm tired of Uncle Sam taking a cut off the top to go murder other people's kids. I know that you over there on Team Red are only there because it's good for your bottom line. Leave Trump behind. Rock with the Green Party. Peace.
Yeah, the Green Party just be doing shit right now. They talk in the language most people want to hear. You know, they call progressives, but really and truly, they say they extremely left. They're not really, because the other thing is, now he's talking about, taxing the more wealthy. I would say, no, encourage them with incentives to give back. I kind of disagree with him a little bit, but at least he's trying to do something. You know what I'm saying? The Green Party's trying to do something. And again, of course, people who have a bigger share in the economy should have bigger responsibilities to make sure that the economies come back together. I don't believe that the central government, the federal government, should tax them. I'm going to tell you why. They work as hard as everybody else. They accumulate what they accumulate. It's kind of unfair to force them to have to force their hand on things. You should create incentives for them to want to reinvest back into their people, into their communities, so they would care about their communities. I wouldn't force them their hand by through taxes. I'd give them tax breaks or something like that. In other words, I would want them to come back and invest back into the United States of America and its citizens. That's where I would go. But he's right in the sense that these big corporations disproportionately get so many benefits that it sucks the economy dry. But a lot of it is because of illegal operations that are going on, and also particularly with elections, where governments they give their accountability and loyalty to them, and that's the problem. So they get big kickbacks. So they're getting way richer than they should be, and the people are suffering for it. All right, so there's a lot to talk about when it comes to Free Palestine and around it. I would just tell you guys, yes, there's a surge right now with Jill Stein. She's making a big comeback, big surge right now. She and Butch Ware and the Green Party, they've won a number of different cases. So I want to just get to that if I can find it. I don't think I bookmarked it. That's probably what happened. But they were able to win Massachusetts in the law from the Democratic Party, and they were also able to win over. There was another place. I think it was Georgia, one of them. So they're on the move. Dr. Jill Stein and Bob Ware, they're saying, oh, they can't move the needle just as lost elections before. Donald Trump has lost elections before, or pulled out, withdrew from elections. Cornel West, lots of people withdraw from the runnings. No, she's sticking with it. It doesn't matter how many times you fail. It's about, is this the time? Is this her time? I think it's her time. I think it's the Green Party's time. And I think it's time we spoil everything. And I say that because a lot of people right now are realizing, opening their eyes to the policies of the Green Party. The policies are hands down better than any other party's policies right now. Policy-wise, they trump everything, you know? So those people who just want to follow a certain person, or just, they're not looking at the policies, you know, you're stupid, you know, because big business is just going to have its say. The only recourse right now, the only fresh face on the block is Dr. Jill Stein. And the way how she's talking, the way her history of walking, and also Butch Weir, they're very much aware. Now, they'll have a lot of pushback in Washington, D.C. We know that. But it's very important that they spoil this election, that they take it from Kamala Harris and from Donald Trump. And America wakes up, at least the politicians of America wake up to realize they can't just get away with any old shit that they do. This is the important thing. That's all I got for you guys right now. There's a lot going on in Palestine. The genocide is still continuing in Palestine, in the West Bank, in Gaza, in Hebron, in East Jerusalem. And we still need to talk about it, and we still need to keep it in the forefront. I haven't been able to do a lot of streams of late, and this stream is going to be the shortest of my streams for a while. But I just want to say unequivocally, you guys can make a big impact on that by simply voting green. Spread the word. Vote green. All the states where you can vote, vote green. All the states where you do not have green on your ballot, write it in. Write it in. Or get somebody, talk to the people and say, hey, why is there no green on this ballot? Make noise. Let them know that you want to vote green. People can change their minds at the last minute. You guys are the ones to make everybody change their mind. Media Hassan has not put out the full interview with Dr. Jill Stein. He's pulled out selective pieces of the interview, and I know why. It's because he knows just as well, and that's why he's paying. He has a paid thing for that. He knows damn well Jill Stein is the real deal, and so is the Green Party, and so is Butch Weir. He knows damn well that. Okay? I am very convinced and very convicted that Jill Stein and Butch Weir are going to spoil this election, and they're going to take it. And everybody's going to be watching with their mouths open. The corporations, and they're going to run campaigns against her. You know, they already, AIPAC did like over $100 million just to get rid of certain Democrats. But you can't stop the will of the people. So shout out to the people. Shout out to you guys. I have much love for you guys. That's what I got for you guys. You guys have a great day. I got to get out of here. I am Christ. I am Disciple. If you want to donate to this channel, don't forget you can donate via PayPal. If you want to buy the LIVE products and you're in Trinidad and Tobago, you can call my number, which is 319-4788, or you can also WhatsApp me at that number and place your order. You can find me on Facebook as well, and where the products are also displayed out there. I'll catch you guys later. I am Christ. I am Disciple. God be with you guys. You guys keep on praising the Most High and walking in His ways. Love you. Peace. I'm gone.